Robert Pszczel, the Senior Fellow at the Casimir Pulaski Foundation in Poland. Hello to you, sir. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Your reaction to the news that's been developing overnight?
Good morning. Well, let me clarify one thing. It's not the polls that need calming down or suggested. I mean, there's been various reports, some of them contradictory. The truth is that we have a war ongoing in Europe, and that's the war which is waged by Russia against Ukraine. And, this missile attacks, barbaric against, civilian targets, they've been happening before. So whether it is the actual Russian missile, the Polish foreign ministry, who summoned the Russian ambassador, quite rightly, is saying it's a Russian-made missile. Whether this is a Russian missile which directly, so to speak, traveled Poland, whether it's a Russian missile which was, diverted in its course by Ukrainians, or even if it was a Ukrainian air defense missile which was trying to defend, of course, Ukraine against this attack, which strayed and unfortunately killed the Polish citizens. It is still the case that this type of situation would not arise if it was not for the reckless, barbaric war that Russia is waging every day. More than half, I believe, inhabitants of Kiev have been without electricity and heating throughout the night. This is the reality. And, NATO has to be involved because this is an extremely serious situation, the one that, both Poland and NATO as such has warned Russia against. And, we would not be even discussing this sort of issue if Russia stopped the war, stopped the missile attacks. So this is really the focus that we should take. And as it happens, apart from the NATO meeting, which should start indeed in an hour and 2 hours time, there is also an Ukraine defense support to Ukraine coordinating meeting, which will discuss further support to Ukraine, including, let's hope, more defense systems, more type of equipment, which will help Ukraine to defend itself, but also will actually make other countries safer, because, this situation is intolerable. It's, for British viewers, imagine if there was a missile which suddenly hit part of Cornwall or Aberdeen, etc. This cannot go on. But the key to this lies in Russia stopping it. And it seems at the moment, the best way to stop it is to ensure that Ukraine achieves a victory on the battlefield, because it is winning this war.
Yeah, I suppose the most pressing question overnight, though, is what's happened on Polish soil triggering Articles 4 and 5 of the NATO agreement, in your opinion?
I think we're quite far away from Article 5 because, that would involve, premeditated, consistent attack. The Polish president last night said that, there are all the signs that this was an hopefully isolated incident. But nevertheless, it is serious because, security of one ally is the security of others too. And, Poland is actually being very diligent in terms of not raising the stakes, not going for any kind of, escalation, but wants to get to the bottom of it. They are actually also NATO and American, specifically experts, which are part of investigation. And all the, I would say, proper, if you like, political and security policy procedures are being followed because nobody is interested in escalation. But at the same time, put yourself in the situation of the people living in Poland and, frankly, other countries like the Baltic states who are very close to this front line, not to mention the Ukrainians themselves. This cannot go on. Russia cannot be threatening and causing this type of havoc and de facto directly or indirectly killing people in Europe today. So there have to be even more efficient ways to improve our security, but also to prevent Russia, to make it impossible for Russia to continue. And frankly, any statements emanating from Russia at this stage should be treated with more than a caution, because we know for a fact that Russia has been engaged in disinformation, lying at the highest level for a very long time.
You're referring, of course, there to the former Russian President Medvedev, who's saying that we're edging ever closer to another world war. You talked about the situation in Poland and other countries that are bordering Russia. What more can be done to keep the people of those countries safe?
Well, I think, again, I already alluded to this. I mean, the paradox is this, that although Ukraine is not a member of NATO, if you ask a lot of people, they would say, should be, but it's not. But de facto, it is the country that is, by defending itself very heroically, but also very, effectively, it is actually doing probably the most to guarantee, to help with the security of the rest of Europe. And we still have some kind of an ongoing debate, in which some countries, UK, by the way, is an exemplary ally because it has been extremely supportive of Ukraine in a variety of ways, but also, a staunch ally of Poland, and there are many others. But then there's still some reluctance to, for instance, provide the necessary additional equipment to Ukraine. As far as countries like Poland, which is a frontier state, well, I think perhaps additional stationing of fighter planes from other NATO countries, additional elements of the air defense equipment would be in order. And perhaps there's also time to revisit the issue of at least thinking about a possible, institutionalization of some kind of a no-fly zone. Because again, I stress, this cannot happen. This should not be repeated. And Russia has to be, made to understand that this is reckless. And, while nobody wants, of course, any escalation, but at the same time, this type of behavior, because again, it is Russian actions which lead to this, will not be tolerated. This is the message which should go out from all the capitals of Europe and North America and beyond.